This is the second small group discussion with J. Krishnamurti in Rome, 1973.
What shall we talk about this morning?
You said something about self-knowledge and the thought processes. Self-knowledge and the thought processes. Self-knowledge and the thought process.
Thought process. I thought we went into that, didn't we, yesterday?
Yes. So self-knowledge.
Self-knowledge. What is the point of knowing oneself? One realizes one should know oneself, because otherwise there is no foundation for clear thinking, clear, objective, sane thinking and acting. If one doesn't know oneself, there is no basis for a total action, an action that is complete, not fragmentary. Is that? Is that all? So, self-knowing is important. In knowing oneself, there is change. There is a transformation of exactly what is. Are we meeting each other? Am I talking? Are we understanding each other, or am I just talking to myself? Now, one of our problems seems to me, that we are so conditioned to the idea of gradual progress, right? The word progress, I was told the other day, meant going into the enemy country armed. You understand that? The meaning of that word progress meant originally going into an enemy's country fully armed. That was the meaning of that word originally. Progress, always go forward. And we are accustomed or conditioned to a gradual process of change. That's one of our conditioning. I mean, isn't that so? Let's discuss it. I'm not giving a talk, please. Not do something. We don't see the importance, or we don't know what to do to bring about immediate change. We are used to the idea that one will gradually get over violence. That's our conditioning. In that is time element. Right? I wonder if one day the human being will be free of violence. That is, he is violent, and time is necessary to change that violence, to be free of that violence. There is an interval between what is and what should be. That's what we are conditioned to. Right? Do we, please, this is... And when there is a time interval between what is and what should be, there are other factors come in. Isn't that so? Other incidents, other experiences, other influences, other pressures, tensions, which prevent the complete freedom from violence. If I have to go from here to a certain place, there are various incidents going on between here and there. And that those influences influence, contradict, minor changes and so on. So there is no final radical change. Right? I wonder if it's... So, is it possible, in knowing oneself, to change, to bring about a transformation of what is in oneself instantly, not allowing a time lag, time interval? That is, I think, is the importance of knowing oneself. I don't know if
It seems to me that one of the prime one of the prime aspects of the mind is that it incessantly chatters. I'm a madman. There's no end to it, there's no beginning, it goes on day and night. I lie in bed, understanding or not. It seems to me this is, but, I mean, that's really an understatement. I need to say
yes, mind endlessly chatters.
And, sir, it chatters, excuse me please, especially, I recognize this, especially when one does not distract oneself. When one sits alone in the room.
This mind chatters all the time. Now, how will you end that chattering? Not take time over it, which is what we are used to. Control, their conflict in controlling, and so on and so on. How will the mind stop that chattering instantly? You understand? If you take time, see the importance of it. If you take time, when chattering will stop, the chattering is going on in a minor scale or a greater scale, with greater vitality. So there is no ending to it. Now, how will the mind stop it instantly? Is that possible?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Why do you have done it?
Pardon?
Is that so, or is it a theory?
No, it's so.
Now, when you say it is so, what has happened? How did it happen?
How?
Look, sir, he says, my mind is chattering all the time, endlessly. And we said, if you take time to end it, a year, a week, 10 years, you are further strengthening the chattering. Is it possible to end it instantly, immediately?
Yes.
And you say yes. Now tell us how it comes about. Yes, go ahead.
Well, just in the moment I become aware of this chattering, it disappears.
It's not the case with me. It seems to me that consciousness, if anything, as was just said, has varying degrees of vitality. And either the volume gets louder or not. It's a wave or it's a ripple. It has troughs, high points, and low points. And at certain times when your attention seems to increase, the volume seems to turn down. But consciousness seems to, the process in itself, the phenomena, is not aware of itself as it's aware. So it loses itself in its attention. At that moment, the volume gets louder. Then somehow you observe yourself again, it decreases. But for me, it never, I don't know, for me it's a very transitory thing. It stops for, a minute, or in time, I don't know, I can't tell.
Well, in the moment when I listen to Krishnamurti, to you, I'm not chattering inside anymore.
But I'm not talking to you about those moments. I'm talking to you about the empty moments. You're walking, you haven't seen anyone for 3 days. You're walking on the street, you find yourself in a city, you find yourself in Tunisia. You're walking down the street, and you feel empty and somehow lonely or whatnot, and there's just...
Sir, look, this is what he is saying. He is saying, at the moment of attention or awareness, at that moment chattering stops. And when that moment is gone, chattering begins again. No, that's not the end of chattering. It's only an occasional moment or period when the mind is completely attentive, then the chattering stops for the moment. That moment may be a quarter of an hour or whatever it is. My question was not temporary ending of chattering. Can the mind stop chattering altogether? Only exercise thought when it is necessary, and be completely quiet when it's not. You see the difference? You understand? Now, how is this to be done? You tell me, go on, sirs. You understand my question? When we talk about chattering, we mean thought is constantly active. Imagination, pictures, words, description, it's constantly in movement. And you are asking whether that constant motion of thought can come to an end. Not eventually, but can that momentum of thought come to an end and only operate when thought is necessary. I wonder if you see this. I'm just asking, please. I may be wrong. Please discuss it with me. Let's talk about it.
We are slaves from enormous inertia.
We are slaves to, we are so inert, inertia, lazy. Just a minute, we'll come to that in a minute, sir. I have a problem. I have a problem. The problem is this. My mind is endlessly chattering, going from one thing to another. Association, imagination, speculation, wondering what's going to happen, what has happened. You follow? It's moving, moving, moving. I want to find out, the mind wants to find out, that it can stop this constant wandering. In asking that question to myself, I see there are two things. Thought must function. It is very nature to function. But if it is functioning all the time, there is no repose, there is no rest, there is no interval between the known and the unknown. I don't know if you follow this. Are we meeting somewhere? Comment, madame? Comment?
On vit chaque acte consciemment, on est présent dans chaque acte.
No, madame. No. You haven't quite understood. You understand my question first? I know thought has to function. Not I know, thought has to function. And when it is not functioning, can be quiet. That's the problem, very simply. And I see, the mind sees that when there is chattering, it's a dissipation of the energy of thought. So, what am I to do? What is to be done? Go on, sirs. I don't know if it is, if you ever thought about it even.
All the time, you have your thoughts. It must be a process. You are telling yourself things. In other words, there must be a separation when your mind is chattering. Because it's always me telling myself, well, I must hurry, or otherwise I must go.
No, you are, please, madam, that's not the point.
Aren't we back again to the same thing as yesterday?
I don't know what we said yesterday.
Well,
Let's forget what we said yesterday.
It would be the observer observing his
I
chattering.
know, no, not quite. I don't think you're meeting the question. Is it a problem to you, this chattering? Right. Why does it chatter? Is it one of the reasons? Is it because if it doesn't chatter, it feels empty, gets frightened, and chattering. And also it may be a habit. And it's a cultivated habit because we never want to be alone. alone in the sense, going away and moving, walking or whatever you do, without any, just observing, without any chattering going on. Now, how do you find this out? What will you do? We should come on, sir. You see, I'm not concerned about chattering. What is important is thought functioning objectively, sanely, and non-fragmentarily. You understand? I have to do something. My life is action, life is relationship. In that relationship is thought capable of acting wholly. I wonder if you meet. I'm forgotten for the moment chattering. I'll approach it in a different way, negatively or in a totally different manner. So I'm asking myself, thought by its very nature is fragmentary. Right? Is that, I don't know, my Lord. Do we see that? That is, in certain language, culture, thought means outside. When you use the word outside, it also means thought. That means thought is always sensory. Thought is matter. Thought is memory, which is matter. Thought is measurable. Thought is time. Now, that is so. Now, can that thought act objectively, non-emotionally, you follow? Non-personally, because then it becomes inefficient. So my inquiry is, can thought function quite objectively, non-fragmentarily? Go on, sir, let's discuss. You are not.
So at that moment I observe my mind chattering, so what do? I ask myself, who is it that's chattering?
No, not yet. Wait, you're missing the point. Not yet, sir, not yet. First see the problem, sir. You understand, sir? Not the answer.
But I do not see the problem because my mind is chattering all the time about the problem.
No, sir, then you can listen to the problem, can't you? I'm putting you a problem. You can listen to it.
But sir, I put the problem and I'm listening to it. I am listening to it.
But you are listening.
I put the problem.
You are listening to it, wanting an answer.
So isn't a great deal of what we might describe as chattering material that comes up from the subconscious, something that one hasn't resolved consciously and totally, and therefore it's fed up into the consciousness material that has to be dealt with.
That may be, but I've told you, I'm not concerned about chattering for the time being. Because I want to find out the whole mechanism of thought. You follow? The whole process of thinking. If the mind is aware of the total process of thinking, then chattering has very little meaning. Or it has significance which has to be resolved. I don't know if...
I don't see that, sir, because...
Sir, look, sir, it's fairly...
Attention is not the process of thought.
No, I'm not talking about attention. You're not listening. No. You're not listening to my problem. I've got a problem. My problem, not yours. Just listen to it. Find out what my problem is. I've got a problem. I realize my mind is endlessly chattering. Going from one thing to another. One association leads to another association, and so on and on. Endless chain. Sleeping, waking, all the time. Which means thought is constantly in motion. Right? Of course. Chattering is thought moving from one thing to another. So I want, if the whole structure and nature of thought is understood, then perhaps the chattering may have a meaning or no meaning at all. So I have to understand the whole nature of thought. That's my first problem, not ending chattering. Right? Right?
There's great pleasure in chattering, sir.
Wait, sir. It may be pleasurable, it may be painful, but chattering is chattering. So I say to myself, if the mind can totally understand the whole nature of thinking, then perhaps chattering has a meaning or no meaning. Right? Is that clear? Oh my. So as it was pointed out earlier, chattering may be the intimation of what is in the unconscious. Maybe, that's one of. And the unconscious is also the product of thought. The storehouse of memories, experiences, tradition, the racial instincts, the whole endeavor of unconscious efforts of man is there, right? And all that is part of thinking, conscious as well as unconscious, right? And chattering may be, as it was pointed out, coming out of the unconscious, out of the deeper layers of the mind. So, I want to understand the whole business of thought. Not ending chattering, but the whole structure of thought. Right? So I say to myself, what is thought? What is thinking? What is thinking? Go on, sirs. I ask you, here it is now, I ask you a question. What is thinking? You hear the question, right? And after hearing the question, what is going on in your mind?
I'm drawing back into everything that I know to answer you.
Yes, which means what?
I'm answering you from what I know.
That's all right, sir. What does that mean?
It means that thought is always from the. It's always back.
No. Please listen, sir. I ask you a question. What is thinking? What takes place? Mind is inquiring, looking back to find the right answer. Between the questioning and the answering is time interval. In that time interval, thought is looking, asking, searching for an answer. Right? The searching, asking, questioning is part of thinking. Right? Are you? So, I see between question and answer, in that lag of time, in that interval of time, thought is active to answer my question. So, thought is looking into memory, and from that memory it's going to answer. So memory is thought. Right? I wonder if you see this.
So would you call it memory if, as you pose that question, one feels some action within oneself? Is that memory, or is that in that moment like touching something?
I'm coming to that presently. Wait. I will go slowly, step by step. I ask you a question like, what is thinking? And your response to that, he says, please give me 2 minutes. Give me a second. Give me a quarter of an hour. I look into myself. The looking into myself is to look into the memory, remember what other people have said, or what I think about it, and so on. And then you say, yes, thinking is this. After examining, looking into memory, you say, thinking is the response of memory. Right? Obviously. Memory being the past. Then I ask you something little more complex. You take much longer. You say, please, I can't answer this question. I'll answer it day after tomorrow. In the meantime, you look in books, you ask people, you go into all that. And at the end of 2 days, you say, this is the answer. Again, searching in the records of memories. Now, I ask you a question. Which you cannot possibly answer. Understand? You can't say, well, I look into my memory, I'll find out. That nobody can tell you. You want to say, please listen to this. I ask you a question that's totally unanswerable. Answerable because you don't know. So you say then, I do not know. You have looked into the memory, asked people, read books, at the end of it, say, sorry, I really don't know. You see what has happened? First, a very short interval between question and answer. Second, a longer interval between question and answer. And the third is, sorry, I don't know. Memory has no response to that question. Right? Now, all that is the process of thinking, isn't it? The not knowing, the knowing after an interval, long or short, and the knowing and the response immediate. What's your name? Your answer is immediate. So that's the whole process of that is thinking. Right? Now you say to me, why should you stop thinking? Which is chattering. I don't know if you say, why should it stop? Please answer me, why should it stop?
Because it's mechanical.
Huh?
Because it's completely mechanical.
It's completely mechanical, obviously. What's wrong being completely mechanical?
Answering by memory, it's not answering.
What is wrong with being mechanical? That's your life.
Because you don't look at it.
No, but madam, face it, that's your life. It's mechanical life. I know we don't like it. You say that my life is mechanical, but it is mechanical. As long as you are functioning at the level of thought, it is mechanical. No? Wait, let's go step by step, sir. You will see it. Don't skip it. Look at it very closely. My life is mechanical. Your life is mechanical. Sexual, the office, the going to work, the repetition, the imitation, you follow? All that is mechanical. Our education is to conform to the pattern of a society. And wait, pardon?
Emotion is not mechanical.
Oh, isn't it?
See?
Isn't it?
I don't know. I thought no.
Look at it. I'm not saying it is not. Just look at it. I get angry. That's emotion. I feel sympathy or empathy.
But I can't induce this anger mechanically, so it is not mechanic.
But wait. The war that has just ended, it's in the Middle East. You feel, my God, what? You follow this enormous sympathy. That's all part of thinking, isn't it?
No.
You take sides or don't take sides, or say, look what the Russians are doing.
Emotion is preceded by thought, is it?
Emotion preceded by thought.
The
Thought
induces
first and
the
emotion afterwards, or emotion first and thought afterwards? Or because you are thinking, emotion arises. Because you are thinking that your Arabs are right and the Israelis are wrong, and therefore your sympathy, your emotion with the Arabs, and anti-Israel, or anti-Hindu, or whatever it is.
I don't call that an emotion.
Huh? But that is emotion. What do you call emotion? I love you. In that there is no emotion? Plenty of it. So, let's go back. And I say to myself, yes, thought, I understand I understand great deal of the process of thinking. Why should it stop? And who says that it should stop? You follow, sir? I see why it should stop. Because if the machine is constantly repeating itself, there is nothing new. And also when it is any machine that's constantly moving, operating, functioning, wears itself out. If you run a motor all the time, a Fiat or a Mercedes, it just goes to pieces. So I say, it is good for it to stop in order to freshen itself, and perhaps in that stopping something new can be seen, which is not mechanical.
But when I say that to myself, it never stops.
No, I am not trying to stop it. I am not trying to stop anything. You understand, sir? I'm watching. The map is being unfolded. Mind is only watching this map as it unfolds. As it unfolds, I see that when thought, there is a seeing in the map, that when thought is constantly in operation, it wears itself out. When it becomes mechanical, it has no depth, no vitality. So, and when thought is constantly in movement, there is nothing new. The map tells me. I don't tell the map. The map tells me. And then I say, the map says, because the mind sees in the map that it is necessary to stop. Listen, it is essential to stop for it to see something new. And it is essential to stop in order to not wear itself out. What takes place? See? The mind stops. Because the map is more intelligent than what you want. I wonder if you see this. The map says, if you don't stop, you are in danger. Right? The map says, you'll wear yourself out. The map says, look, if you stop, you will see another road which you have never seen before. The map reveals all this to me. And the revelation of the map makes the mind say, it's quite right. It stops because the map is more important than what you want. I wonder if you see this. So take a map of Italy, and you look at it. You want to go in a certain direction. Florence, Venice, whatever it is, Rimini. And there it is. The road is there. It's a mechanical thing, that. But in this map, it is not only mechanical, it tells you, be intelligent, old boy. You follow? Be intelligent. See the danger. And to see the danger is intelligence. Right? Not I want to stop chattering, which is non-intelligence. But seeing the map, there is intelligence which says, see the danger. Intelligence sees the danger. Therefore, intelligence operates and says, that's enough. I don't know. Only you must see the map very clearly. So, intelligence says, don't chatter. You follow? Because you see the danger of it. The seeing in the map, the danger, is intelligence. It is the neurotic who says what that goes into danger. I wonder if you see it. So my mind, seeing the danger, is quiet. You follow, sir? It hasn't been made quiet. It hasn't stopped. You follow? Thought has its function. I'm talking to you in English, or Italian, French, whatever it is, in English. Thought is operation there, because if it didn't operate, there would be no words. So thought knows when it is necessary to function. And because it knows when it is necessary to function, it also says, I can't function there. I wonder if you see this. I've talked, sorry.
By the word map, do you mean what is?
Yes, sir. By the map, the questioner says, do you mean what is? Of course. The map is what is, not what I tell the map. There are two things on there. I tell the map what it should be, which is my desire, my wish, my hope, my pleasure, my fear, my all that. But the map is different from what I want. So the map is what is, which cannot be changed by me. The map says, look very closely and see the dangerous spots. Nationalism is a danger. Right? Because it divides people, eventually war, you'll kill each other. Watch it, it's such a dreadful danger. Because in that, nationalism is division, and therefore conflict. See it and be free of it. For God's sake, otherwise you're insane. Right? Because it says, sanity, my mind says, all right, finish with nationalism. I don't say, my God, I must be free of it. How am I to be free of it? How beneficial it is. It gives me security. You follow? And the danger in the map says, beliefs have divided people. Beliefs, opinions, ideologies have, that's a danger. So the map, if you look, reveals everything. But it can only reveal everything if you don't dictate to it. The map is yourself. Right.
There is another danger to fortify the conflict, to fear conflict.
Come? Parliamo italiano, poi avanza.
Ho l'impressione che vedendo la mappa, il conflitto, questo conflitto viene fortificato, aumentato, perché io mi identifico
Sì,
come uno
sì,
specchio.
giusto, giusto.
Ma allora non sarebbe più giusto dire tutto questo è meccanico, tutto questo è stupido e non ha vitalità. Beh, io lo taglio ad ogni momento, ad ogni istante, taglio tutto proprio, tutto ciò che è pensiero, tutto ciò che è meccanico, lo taglio direttamente.
So, the map is not mechanical. Un momento. The map is not mechanical. I reduce the map to my mechanical habits. I wonder if you see this. Look, sir, the map says, don't be a national. I'm taking that very ordinary, very rather painful and destructive division. The map says, look how dangerous it is. Look what has happened in history. Wars on national, you follow, sir? And it says, if you are sane, you won't be a national. But I am a national. I like the feeling of nationality. For me to identify myself with a country calling India gives me certain vitality, certain status, certain assurance, certain sense of pride. I like that. So there is conflict between what the map says and myself. I don't know. And that conflict is insane conflict, because that is a fact. This is not a fact. So you follow, sir? This is mechanical because I've been trained, I've been educated to say I am an Italian, I am this, that. So there is a conflict between my conditioning and the truth. The truth is, don't be a national, because that brings destruction instead of security to human beings. But yet I go on because I like this feeling of being a national. Nationalistic. This is mechanical, that's not. That says, look. Therefore, see from that what happens. My experience being a nationalistic, strengthened by everybody around me, that very experience gives me the strength to deny that. Right? I wonder if you see it. So the fact, the danger dictates what I should do. Not, I don't dictate to the fact. You get it? So there is no struggle. Only seeing clearly the danger. So seeing clearly the mechanical process of thought, the wastage of energy, the constant repetition, and also seeing that there is in this constant movement of thought, there is nothing new. The map is telling me. I'm not telling the map. The map says, look. And when you see that which is truth, then you instantly are out of it.
Who sees the map?
I've told you, sir. The map is what is. What is, look. The map is the history. History. Un moment, sir. Map is history. Part of history. Map is the education that I have received. Of course. To misread what are facts. I've been educated to be a nationalistic, patriotic, waving the flag and, killing for that. I've been educated that, right? Destroying what I have been seeking, security. Because I need security. Food, clothes, shelter, some comfort, a sense of God's sake, I must live. And nationalism is destroying that very security which I want. I want a few. So the map is the fact, which is the capacity to observe what is going on around me. What is going on around me, what is going on inside me is the map. Only I misread it. Because I start out from an egocentric point of view. That's all. I want to stop chattering. Because I don't like it. It irritates me. You follow? It bothers me. I want to be quiet. I want to sit still, but my body moves and I hate this chattering. So I am dictating to myself I must stop. Whereas, in inquiring into the whole structure of thought, I see how essential it is for thought to come to an end. And except when it has to operate. So that brings up a question. I do not know if you want to go into it. What place has knowledge in the transformation of man and society? Are you interested in this? Huh?
Can I just say something? You say to see it. You said yesterday you made a distinction between see and recognize.
Yes, of course.
So at that moment...
And look, the seeing is not recognizing.
Yes, exactly. But that's
I am seeing. But the moment I recognize it, it is my experience which says that's wrong. My experience is educated experience, conditioned experience, an experience which is the result of my education, culture, tradition.
How do we keep that quiet?
No, not there is no.
You say to go around, instead of starting with ourselves and controlling, we watch rather than exerting our control over the world.
I've showed it to you. I've showed it to you.
But we can't do it.
I've showed it to you. As we said, recognition is one thing and seeing is another. Recognition implies the knowing of that thing which has been in the past. Right? Recognition is a movement of experience as the past. Right? Seeing is not through colored glasses of experience, just seeing. Look, I see what nationalism is doing in the world. I don't know if you see it, Arab, Muslim.
I see it or I recognize it.
But it doesn't matter. Don't get confused for the moment. Look. Pick up your paper and look, and you read it. Right? The two are fighting. Russia takes one side, America takes the other. And they threaten each other, and so on. And you see what division has done. One ideology opposed to another ideology. Right? One set of invested group against another invested group. So there it is. So you see, seeing is not recognizing them, seeing what division is doing. It is so simple. So I say to myself, am I a Hindu? If I am, I'm contributing to this horror. So the truth says, gives me, seeing the truth is intelligence. I've been through all that. Now let's go back what I started. The next question, which is, what place has knowledge? I don't know if you're interested in the place of to transform man and society. What is its place? Has it any place? We have said it has, and our whole structure is based on that. Right? I wonder if you see. Are you interested in this?
Yes.
I'm not sure. Doesn't matter. It's not just for it's for the sake of talking, please.
For the sake of seeing.
What?
For the sake of seeing.
For the sake of fear?
Seeing.
What place has knowledge? What is the place of knowledge in the transformation of man and society? What place has it? Please discuss with me. What place has it? Do you understand, sir? Lenin and all that group said knowledge is part of history, and history can be read any way you want. Knowledge, that's knowledge. And from that knowledge they concluded an ideology and brought about a revolution. Right? Killing millions and millions and millions. That's killing this part of the human thing going on. So I say to myself, I see this happening all over the world where they're giving importance to knowledge as a means to transformation of man. Is that so? You understand? I'm not saying it is or it's not. I'm inquiring. Are you? Please inquire with me. See, I'm tremendously concerned with the transformation of man. To me, that is tremendous. That's the only thing. And I ask, what place has in that transformation knowledge? Knowledge being experience. Of course, historical experience, whole world of experience. From that experience, there is the accumulated knowledge, science, physics, mathematics, engineering, all that one has learned about business, running fact. All that is this enormous accumulation of knowledge through experience. Right? Right, sir? That's all. So, will that transform man? See what religions have done. It's very interesting. See what religions have done. They have got this tremendous knowledge, not as much as we have it now, but they had certain knowledge, and they used that knowledge to transform man. They invented a religious structure, the savior, the master, the one who is going to, the guru. You follow? I wonder if you see all this. Do you see all this? Huh? And they, through knowledge, they hope to change man. They haven't. 2,000 years, 3,000, follow, or 5,000 years, man is just as before. Modified, little bit more polite, little bit more cunning, little bit more sophisticated, little better, hypocritically can be put things over, and so on, so on.
Non c'è il pericolo che si formi anche sul
Com'è?
Krishnamurti, un'altra chiesa.
Come?
Non c'è il pericolo che si formi anche su Krishnamurti.
Oh, zit!
No.
No, I'm not. That's your danger, not my danger. Your danger, it's not mine. I'm not. He says, you'll form another temple around yourself. If you are neurotic, you will form it.
It's not so much to laugh at the other thing. Non è tanto da ridere, dico, c'è il pericolo. Non è una cosa da prendere alla leggera, c'è il pericolo. No, perché loro ridevano come se una cosa assurda, invece c'è. Sì, there is a danger.
So let's proceed. Let's proceed, of course. If you see the danger, then you're intelligent and you won't do anything. You won't form. If you don't see the danger, you will become neurotic and form another beastly little religion.
Not be for me, but for
Amen. For those I'm not concerned. Don't you do it. Full stop. Let's get on with our stuff. I see what religions have done. All their structure, their rituals, their gods, their savior is based on thought, obviously. Thought is knowledge, experience, you follow? And said, this will change you. All over the world they have done this. The more knowledge you have, scientifically, biologically, conquer the air, you follow? More knowledge you have, the more man will change. Right? And it apparently hasn't changed man. It has changed him a little bit. He can shave better or whatever it is. Better bathrooms, better all the rest of it. And I say to myself, then what will change man? You understand, sir? Any motive for change is still within the field of knowledge. I wonder if you see that. If I want to be better, I want to be better because I've seen something which is better. Will comparison change man? Obviously, it hasn't changed man. They've got images on cross, the images all over the place in Christian world, and they have images in India and so on, so on, so on. So, knowledge is a factor which is necessary, and apparently that factor doesn't change man. He's as violent, as brutal, as war. You follow, sir? Without any sense of affection, care, responsibility, and all the rest of it. Now, what are you to do? Go on, sir. You discuss it with me. Dialogue. I think the scientists are coming to this point too. Philosophers haven't come to this point. They're still thinking, using knowledge, you follow? Have better ideations, better ideologies, better concepts, better formulas, better theories. All from the background of knowledge. So what is one to do? Come on, sir. I'll put it differently. I want to transform myself. Right? I want to be, not, please, I'm using I, just a means of communicating quickly. A totally different human being. Inwardly, not outwardly. Biologically, I can't change. I can't have 3 eyes or 4 arms. That's So there must be a radical change in myself. How am I to do it? Come on, sirs. Because that's the only hope man has got now. You follow? Otherwise he's going to destroy himself. He is utilizing all the resources of the earth. You follow, sir? He's polluting the air. He's doing everything to destroy himself. I do not know if you've seen on television these tanks being destroyed. You understand, sir? Carro armati. You saw it? They are beautifully built and it's broken up next minute. Knowledge builds that up, knowledge comes along and destroys it. And how has my mind to change so radically? That's totally different from. But come on, sir, answer it.
But I don't see why it's so important to keep man.
Huh?
I don't see why it's important to keep man.
To change?
To keep man as they are, to keep them alive, so he can't destroy himself.
No. I have a son.
But that's emotional.
No,
that's a motive.
I am emotional. God's sake. I'm not unemotional. I've got a son.
Yeah, but if I have a son, I think I have to change the world for my son.
No. I don't say for my son. I want my son. Listen, sir, carefully. I feel personally, I am the world and the world is me. Factually, right? Biologically, I am conditioned by the culture I live in. I am the culture. So the world is me and I am the world. I don't separate myself and say, I am not the world, I am the world. And living in this world, I have got sons, daughters, not only your daughter, your son. Because I am you follow? And I say, I want to save these people. It's my responsibility. It isn't an ideology, it isn't something I kind of invent and get emotional about. Yeah, it's a fact. And the fact says you are responsible. Not only for your beastly little son, for every beastly little son in the world and daughter. Beastly, you understand? That's so I want in the transformation of the mind, I am bringing about this transformation in the world. You understand, sir? As a new flower. You follow, as a new thing. So what am I to do? Go on, sir. It's your problem.
It seems to me you have to get rid of all the knowledge which has made you what you are.
I can't get rid of all the scientific knowledge. I can't get rid of all the knowledge of mathematics.
Knowledge has its field. It has its field in the technical space.
What, sir?
Knowledge knowledge has its field. It's
That's it. I can't get it has its field.
The field is
Therefore,
not the psychological.
all right. Therefore, where has it no place? You understand?
I try to use it to change myself. It doesn't have any place, does it? It doesn't have.
It hasn't changed me.
Exactly.
Look, madam, look, there have been, in as long as history has been written, 5,000 and more wars. That means war every other year throughout the world, not just Europe. And we are still going on. The mothers send their children. The mothers don't say, stop it. I'm not going to allow this. And if all the scientists in the world say, look, no more, we're not going to work for governments, there will be end of war. But they won't. Right, sir? So, what am I to do? How is this mind, which has been conditioned, mind which has evolved in its own conditioning, you follow? Catholic, Protestant, Hindu, Buddhist, Muslim, communist, imperialist, the whole field. My mind, this mind has traveled through centuries. The mind. And has acquired tremendous knowledge. Zen, meditation, everything. And apparently that hasn't changed one little bit, deeply, fundamentally. So, what is to be done? What's your answer, sirs? Come on.
It's not those philosophies that haven't changed, man. It's man that hasn't changed, man. It's the same thing. I'm going back, but it's the same thing. If people follow you and don't see what you're saying, then they're wrong. You can't follow a philosophy you can't agree with a philosophy until you see it. So it's not religion that hasn't changed man, it's man that hasn't changed man. It's man that's formed religion.
Of course,
it wasn't Buddha or Christ.
Of course. Man has invented all the crosses, all the images, all the saints, all the paraphernalia. Man has invented, which is thought has invented.
Okay, so that does not, in the same realm, that does not deny the importance of Christ or Muhammad.
I don't know anything. I won't
now,
even bring that, with their importance or unimportance.
Right. So now, for man to change, man has to do it, all right?
Therefore,
man has to see
sir, look, sir.
Okay? Man has to see it now.
No, man has to see that knowledge cannot change him. Which means thought
cannot change him. Right? Thought, which he is employing all the time, thought which has built this structure, thought which has functioned. That's a tremendous thing to realize. If you say thought cannot change man, you follow? He doesn't say thought cannot change man. He wants something else to put in its place. You understand, sir? Hoping that will change it. But what he wants to put in its place is still thought. I wonder if you see this.
What about the properly applied thought that you spoke of earlier in relationship to the map?
What's that?
What about the properly applied thought that you spoke of earlier on in relationship to the map?
Has thought any relationship? Has thought? What is the place of thought in relationship? What's the place of thought in relationship between you and me, between me and my wife, between me and my neighbor, whatever it is? What place is it?
There's thoughtfulness.
What?
There's a thing called thoughtfulness.
That's a different thing, sir. That's a different thing.
Well, it's regard.
Is love thought?
Love is caring.
No, just look at it, sir. Is love the product of thought?
No.
Then what is my relationship with my wife, husband, whatever it is? Is it based on thought?
Spontaneous caring.
What?
It's spontaneous caring.
Now, the word spontaneous is rather difficult word.
All right, strike it out.
Spontaneity implies freedom.
But when it's linked to care, it means something quite different than left alone.
No, sir. Just look, sir. What is what is the place of thought in relationship? You answer me, please. You are related to your wife, husband, girl, whatever it is. What is the place of thought?
It has none other than utilitarian.
Thought is knowledge, right?
Let's go to the movies. Okay, that's...
No, see, sir, what is implied. I'm asking what is the place of thought in relationship. Thought is knowledge, right? Thought is memory. And what has memory, knowledge, what is its place in relationship?
It creates an image.
Huh?
It creates an image of the...
Yes,